Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. I am Mike Babicz, your host, and I'll be announcing here and there and everywhere this coming summer season. I'll start it out this coming Saturday up at the Wilmot Raceway for the Dick Colburn Classic, and we're going to be talking to Rod and Tommy Colburn and Chris Klemko a little bit more about that event coming up in the second half of the show. Want to thank the folks that bring us to the airways each and every week. Of course, Kent, my producer, back in the studio. Also, of course, Steve Sinclair and the Bumper to Bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Car Series. Game Day Men's Health of Vernon Hills and soon to be in Kenosha. And our good friends, Great Lakes Dragaway. Great Lakes Dragaway a little wet today, so they are not open tonight. And they were also not able to be open last night. Tomorrow, kind of have to wait and see. So check out GreatLakesDragaway.com to keep updated on whether or not they're going to be able to do some racing tomorrow night and even Saturday during the day and even Sunday for that matter. B&L Office Furniture, Scott Carpenter does a great job providing us our in-studio. Force One Performance, BJ Irwin. Whitmore's Towing and Recovery, Fox Lake Harbor, Dave Mullis and his fine crew. The Hunt Club of Richmond, we do plan on going remote out there sometime this season. Also, MLS Auto Clinic, Eddie and Debbie Boyd, Bodycraft of Antioch, and they will be providing the pace vehicle up at the Wilmot Raceway this coming weekend. And they're also providing one for the IRA series this season. Also, Goodwin Performance, People Architectural Group, for all your human resources needs. Check out People Architectural Group, Sarah Missiel in Mundelein. Also, Lake County Hose and Equipment, Bill Fusting and his fine crew. Culver's Paddock Lake. We're going to be having a remote up there at some point this summer, so keep an eye out for that. Hartnell Chevrolet, and we are going to have 3 shows. We're not calling them car shows, more like car meets for street cars and race cars. The first one will be on June 21st, then July the 19th, and then August the 9th. I think I got all 3 of those dates correct. They are on Saturdays, and we'll have more information on the hours and that kind of thing. That'll be at Hartnell Chevrolet. Just finalized that yesterday, and looking forward to doing that this summer with the folks from Hartnell Chevrolet on Highway 83 in Paddock Lake. Impressions Count, Randy and his fine crew in downtown Antioch. We Be Waxin', Jack's Helmets that provide us some support on our program here and also with the Let's Go Racing Motorsports show, and we'll have more on the show in just a little bit. A-Main Apparel and Diecast, Garrett and the Tennyson family. They'll have the IRA souvenir trailer at Wilmot this coming weekend. Cabins on the Lake in Friendship, Wisconsin. Kaylee Burns, who does Grandpa's hair, and Grandma's too, for that matter. Nielsen Enterprises, Midwest Motor Coach, and Olson Transportation. They do a great job helping out the various honor flights. John Hederline, attorney at law. 5-Star Race Car Bodies, Carl and Corey Schultz and Daniel Sanchez. If you're looking to get a start in the world of motorsports, working in the world of motorsports, contact them at 5-Star Race Car Bodies in Twin Lakes. The Northern Illinois Council on Alcoholism and Substance Abuse. They'll be involved in the NASCAR Day of Giving. That'll be coming up in a couple of weeks. We'll have more information on that probably on next week's show. And also want to thank Jim Trado from Racing Roundup. He was kind enough to have me on his program this last Tuesday and has done a lot of help for us publicizing our event. that is coming up Sunday. The Bars Let's Go Racing Motorsports and Custom Car Show presented by Larry Roebuck. And that's at Paulie's Pub and Eatery up there in West Dallas. So stop by and check things out. Also, tonight we're going to have Mark Heinert on as well. And inadvertently, he was left out of our list of guests, but we will be having Mark on in a little bit. So got a little bit of everything happening this week in the world of motorsports. Do want to start something off on a sad note. A longtime supporter of the Bars Let's Go Racing Motorsports show in its days at the Lakehurst Mall, and also I've had him on my show, and just a really friend to racing, and particularly here in the Lake County area. Fred Nielsen, a longtime Midwest stock car owner, passed away this last Saturday at the age of 90. He started out in the modifieds back in the 1960s, providing winning stock cars for a host of driving talents, including Johnny Reimer, Dave Watson, and ironically enough, Joe Shear. The Joe Shear Classic is this Sunday at Madison International. One of Fred's cars that Joe drove, and Matt Kenseth has also in the past years driven for Fred, appeared at one of the Joe Shear Classics a few years ago. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Nielsen family. I spoke with Ted yesterday, and our thoughts and prayers certainly go out with them. As I mentioned, Fred involved with a lot of drivers like Johnny Reimer, Whitey Harris. I mentioned, also Joe Shear, Dave Watson drove for him, Greg Sachs, Butch Lindley, Mike Eddy, Junior Hanley, and just a host of others involved in a lot of the Artco Series events in their early days. And also in the early days of the IRA, Fred had cars that were involved as well. So again, thoughts and prayers go out to the Nielsen family. Fred and Ted actually co-owned Capital Speedway, now Madison International. And they were partners for a while with John and Sue McCarnes back in the 80s. So thoughts and prayers go out to the Nielsen family. Fred, a really good guy, did a lot for racing in the Midwest. And for me personally, too, a supporter of my car show. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to Ted, his brother, and the rest of the Nielsen family during this difficult time. And I'm sure he'll be remembered on Sunday as part of the Joe Shear Classic up there in Madison. Speaking of Sunday, the 45th annual Bars Let's Go Racing Motorsports and Custom Car Show presented by our good friend Larry Roebuck. It's back home, second year now at the Waukegan Harbor and Marina, 1 to 5 o'clock. It's free to everybody, open to all types of motorsports or custom cars, motorcycles, you name it. You're welcome to come on down. It's all free. We're going to have music by Bill's Little Big Band and Most Wanted. We want to thank Hartnell Chevrolet, Great Lakes Dragaway, Whitmore's Towing and Recovery Services, Greentown on the Rocks, Goodwin Performance, Bodycraft of Antioch, Force One Performance, B&L Office Furniture, Steve Sinclair and the IRA, MLS Auto Clinic, A-Main Apparel and Diecast, Jack's Helmet Designs, People Architectural Group, Midwest Motor Coach, Game Day Men's Health, Lake County Honor Flight, and Game Day Men's Health are both going to have displays at the show. And we also want to thank Bumper to Bumper. Bumper to Bumper has come on big time. We're going to have a lot of surprises for the attendees and the fans on Sunday at the show. That's all I'm going to tell you. You're going to want to be there because you're not going to go home empty-handed. At least probably not go home empty-handed. So plan on coming, and we want to thank Bumper to Bumper, their regional folks that got involved with us literally just this morning. So we're looking forward to having them be a part of the program on Sunday down at the Waukegan Harbor Marina, 1 to 5 o'clock. We'll be going. The weather forecast is great, and I'm looking forward to that very, very much so. So, and again, We want to have everybody come on down. We know there's racing on Saturday. We know there's racing on Sunday. And we're actually going to try to figure out a way where we can have Jim Trado and the coverage of the Big 8 series and all the events that are going on up there at Madison International. We're going to try to have that on somewhere down at the show. If we can get somebody's laptop or big screen or something, we're working on it to actually have coverage of that, and folks can watch it while they're at the show. And speaking of that, we're now going to bring in Bryce Miller. Bryce Miller has, from what I understand, in talking with Jim Trado on Tuesday night, Bryce, very bright, young, driving talent that can win in just about anything he sits in, that has a steering wheel and 4 wheels. I don't know if he's ever done anything with 3 wheels or 2 wheels. I've been told that he's just really, really having a lot of success in his young career. He's been selected as one of just 5 selectees this year for the Alan Kowicki driving program. It used to be 7. Now it's only 5. And Bryce is one of 5 in the entire country to be chosen to be a part of that program. And he's going to be racing this Sunday up at the Joe Shear Classic. And I'm going to hold this up and try not to get too much glare. That'll be the Toyota Joe Shear Classic this Sunday, May the 4th. Mark Martin is going to be there signing autographs. He's driving his motorhome from Florida up to Madison just to visit with the fans from Wisconsin. And again, here's the information. You can always, of course, check them out at misracing.com or 608-835-9700. And that's Greg McCarnes and his wife, Angie, are just doing a great job up there at Madison. Bryce, welcome to the program. Big show planned on Sunday. And also congratulations on the Kowicki program selection. That's quite an honor.
For sure. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, like you said, it's a huge honor to be part of that program. I've been kind of a part of it on the backside of things with some of my friends who are part of the Kowicki driver development program. So I always knew what it entailed, but to finally be a part of it is really cool. And like you said, there's only 5 drivers across the whole entire country that got in. So to represent, one of those 5 members, and then to be from Allen's home state right here in Wisconsin is a huge honor. So a little bit of pressure that goes with it, but we're looking forward to getting things underway this Sunday at the Joe Shear Classic. It's 200 laps, so we're jumping right in the deep end here. We don't get a warm up with a 50 lap feature or anything like that. So we're jumping right in, and we're excited to get the season going here.
And now this the Kowicki program. Tell the folks a little bit more about the Kowicki program, what it is, and what you had to go through to get selected, and how you did get selected.
Yeah, so there's obviously a lot of different qualifications that get you into the program. They kind of know you a little bit before, like obviously you can't be new to the late model scene. So I feel like I got recognized a little bit with just some of my previous runs and performances from past years, and that kind of got my name on the map in a sorts. And so for the application process, you kind of fill it out as if you're doing a job interview, and they ask you your name, your age, where you race, your past racing history, some of your accomplishments, and then upload a photo of your car, that kind of thing. And so that's all you do they ask you a couple questions like, have you been involved in the community? It's different things that are kind of outside the norm of your racing. And then that's all you do for your semifinalist. So I filled that out, submitted it, and I got selected as a semifinalist. And then after that, you get in a Zoom call with 13 members that were part of Alan Kowicki's 1992 Winston Cup Championship team. And then that's just like a formal interview. And so they ask you a bunch of different questions, but there's so many different aspects of this driver development program that are outside of racing. So they take your social media and your online presence as one factor, your community involvement, volunteering, obviously your on the track performance, and just there's just a bunch of different categories that they kind of you score points off of. And so at the end of the year, you compete for the Quickie Cup. And this year they broke it down in 3 segments. So they take your best 4 races in the first half of the season. And then kind of like that midsummer stretch, they take your best 5. And then in the fall, you take your best 5. So it's there's a lot of that goes into it. And we've been really busy just kind of amping up our social media and our community involvement and volunteering and just doing all kinds of things. And we have some excited. I heard Badger Honor Flight mentioned a couple of times throughout this podcast, and we're doing golf outing for the Badger Honor Flight, which we're really looking forward to. So a lot of stuff that is outside of the realm of racing, which makes this program so cool and so diverse that you not only are you impacting things at the racetrack off the track as well too.
And who are you, quote, competing with? Who's the other 4 nominees that are in the program too this year?
Yeah, so there's one, Seth Christensen. He's down in Atlanta, Georgia. And then Taylor Hoare and Derek Gluchaki and Noah Eisenhower. So Derek and Taylor, they're over kind of on the east coast over there. And then Noah's in Illinois. So we're the 2 Midwest guys. And then obviously Seth's in the southern region of the country.
Is there any time when all 5 of you are going to be competing in the same kind of car, in the same series, or at the same race?
No, actually, there won't be any crossovers. And I said it'd be really cool to kind of see where you stack up against each other. But just with the way the super late model racing scene is, and even the pro late model scene, these cars aren't directly the same. So there's a lot of rule variances that would make that kind of hard. And obviously the travel too. We'd have to find somewhere in the middle of the country to kind of all travel to.
And now, where did Bryce Miller get started in his racing? I was given a little birdie told me Tuesday that you got a background in karts, and it's just kind of taken off from there.
Yeah, so I come from a racing family. My grandpa raced back in the day, and he did kind of enduros and dirt, just kind of really wasn't into it, just kind of something to do for fun. And then my uncle and my dad were heavily involved in the short track late model scene, doing street stocks and late models and all that kind of stuff. And then when my dad sold his late model, we bought a go-kart. We had to save up, or I saved up all summer long to pay for half the go-kart and some of my safety equipment. So I learned right away at an early age to kind of appreciate my equipment because I know how much this stuff costs. And we did the go-kart thing for about 1.5 years. And then after we did go-karts, we traded our trailer, our go-kart, all our tools for you could say a race-ready sportsman. I was sitting in a barn for about 10 years and hasn't run or anything like that. So it was in rough shape. And so we bought it, we traded it, and that whole winter we rebuilt the thing. We tore it completely apart, painted it, made it look like $1 million. And I learned how to work on race cars, building that car, and which was cool and a huge for my career. And so we built that and ran that for 3 or 4 years, and then that kind of indirectly got me involved in the Midwest Truck Series. The kid that I used to race go-karts with, his dad was racing the Midwest Truck Series for Mike Carmichael, and so he was kind of just overwhelmed because his kids were in high school sports and he just couldn't do it. And he called Mike Carmichael and said, "Hey, I think Bryce Miller deserves a shot at this Midwest Truck Series ride." And so I was a sophomore in college at the time, and I got a phone call out of the blue and said, "Hey, this is Mike Carmichael. I don't know if you know me or not, but I'd like for you to drive my Midwest truck." And so it was kind of just a surreal moment. And we got dinner at the Applebee's, and he kind of signed a contract, and I ran 1 race or 2 races that year. This would have been in 2019 for him in the Midwest Truck Series. And my first race was at Oktoberfest, which is, for the people who don't know the asphalt scene, is Oktoberfest. That is the biggest race of them all. That's your Knoxville National. That's a big race. And so I got to run there. That was my first time on a track bigger than a 1/4 mile or 3/8. So it was a huge learning curve for me. And not only did I have to learn how to drive this truck, I had to learn how to drive a 5/8 mile sweeping corners. So it was a lot to take in, but we did really well. We qualified in the top 10 and we finished 6th in the race, and we were coming at the end. So I just started out with that. And then that whole next year, my rookie year, we went on to win 2 races, broke 1 track record, 3 fast times, and just had a really good year and ran for rookie of the year. And then I'm still running for Mike Carmichael. This is probably our 5th year together. And that kind of just led to other opportunities. And Mike Carmichael's kind of really the one that kind of put my name on the map. because we didn't really have the funds to go run in the truck series, and we didn't at that time anyways. And so it was just huge for me and my team, and we're just a family operated team. It's just me and my dad in the shop, and so it's a lot of work to take on, but I feel like we've made the most out of every opportunity. And this past year, I got a huge break that got me into super late model racing. Griffin McGrath reached out and goes, "Hey, you and your family are never going to get to the super late model ranks unless someone cuts you a break." And someone cut me a break back in the day, so I'm going to kind of repay the favor. So last year we ran about 10 races in the super late model ranks, and had some really good runs. And we were at Oktoberfest. It was our first 200 lap race as a team, and we finished 7th. Our pit stop was no means good. We kind of forgot to put fuel in and just had kind of some issues on pit road. But yeah. So we were kind of learning on the fly, but we still ended up 7th and didn't run out of gas. So it was a win-win. But so this year we're kind of going head first into the ASA Midwest Tour, and we're going to do some Alive for 5 races. And yeah, that's kind of my career in a 30s and a kind of an elevator pitch there. So.
Well, and you mentioned the honor flight. Honor flight, very special to me. I was fortunate enough to be a guardian on Lake County honor flight last April, a little over a year ago. It's an experience of a lifetime. Lake County goes for 3 days. They go Friday and they come back Sunday. I've been involved in their escort too with our pace truck from Bodycraft a number of times, as they are escorted up to Mitchell Airport and back to North Chicago, Illinois, from Mitchell by full police escort down the interstate. And that's pretty cool when you got like 50 to 75 police cars, lights and sirens and the whole bit, leading a bus full of veterans. It's a pretty impressive deal. And we've also gotten involved down here by us with Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, which is based out of Mitchell and goes out of Kenosha County primarily. Bob Johnson, one of our people that runs our our ambulance crew at Wilmot, went on the flight last year, and he's an ambassador for them. So it's a great organization to be involved in. It's a great way to give back to the veterans that have done so much for us. And I commend you for getting involved with the one that you're with.
For sure. And it's cool to use our platform in racing. Obviously, not many people would think you would be involved in something like that. And so it's so cool that the program, it's so important to them to give back. And so we're really looking forward to it. And I have a lot of friends that don't like racing, but I have a lot of friends that love golf. So I figure it's a good way to kind of bridge that gap and kind of collide both worlds there. So we're really looking forward to it. We still haven't released a date, but it'll be sometime this summer. And yeah, we got a lot of cool things working with that. The local dealership is going to donate a brand new car to anyone who hits a hole in one on the par 3. So that's just one of the big carrots to chase at that. And you're doing it for a good cause too. So we're really looking forward to it.
Well, you and I will keep in touch on that, because I'm not the world's greatest golfer, but I do like to golf for important things. And ironically, Lake County Honor Flight is going to have their first annual golf outing. It's in the name of a veteran who I happened to officiate with too a number of years ago, John Davis, a Navy veteran that passed away. And they're going to do that in July. So I'll get you the date. Maybe you can come over here to Illinois and hit the ball around with us, and then I'll come up to Wisconsin and hit it with you. So we'll see what we can work out there.
For sure. That sounds great.
It'll be a little bit of fun. So your thoughts going into the season now? Sunday, are you going to do double duty? Because I know the Midwest trucks are there too, I believe. Are you going to be running both the truck and the car?
No, so actually, I am kind of a truck crew chief / driver mentor for. We have a kid from Georgia. Actually, he's 14 years old, and he's kind of running the truck this year. So we're still working on it. We're still doing all the day-to-day operations with that, but he is now the driver. So we have 2 trucks and trailers heading to Madison, and double the tools and double the crew and all that. So I'll just be running the 200 laps on Sunday, and then Austin will be running the Midwest Truck Series race.
Well, good luck to you in both. Now, there's a couple of names that we've named in the show, and actually 3 names. The late Fred Nielsen, longtime car owner. Like I mentioned, Joe Shear drove for him for a number of years, and the picture actually on the flyer is a Nielsen sheer car that Fred was a co-owner of. And then, of course, Mark Martin's coming in, a guy, one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet in racing. And I first saw him race at Rockford when he won the short track championship. And at that time, Hugh Deary had the world's smallest trophy you got if you won the national short track championship. It was about this big, literally, but it was solid gold. and I can still see it sitting on the hood of Mark's car after he had won it, and getting a picture of him in the car. But what I liked about his hauler, and I'm not picking on you, Bryce, or any of the current drivers, he had an open trailer that they towed all the way from Arkansas to Rockford with the car on the open trailer. And I'm an old school guy. I've been around that racing since 1977, long time before you were born, Bryce. And the open trailers, to me, are one of the best advertisements for the sport, because kids see that race car go by. Hey, Ma, Dad, let's go see the race car. Today, a lot of the enclosed trailers, some of them have lettering on the side, a lot of them don't. And it's like, it could be a landscaper going by, a moving company, nobody knows. So I'll get off my soapbox for that.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I would love to have an open trailer, because I was the same way when I was a kid. When, see something go down the highway, it's like, yeah, obviously I was already going, but it was just cool to see the cars that you're going to watch at the race go down the highway. But man, I would love to do it, but it would just be so unrealistic for us to do it. We have a 40-foot enclosed gooseneck, and we run out of room sometimes with all the stuff and equipment that you bring, and spare parts and shock machines and all the tires and all the pit carts and all that. So I'd love to do it, but it's just not really realistic in today's era.
Now, I know I think somebody told me you're 25. Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
So did you see Joe Shear race? Did you see Mark Martin race? Did you see either of them race?
I never saw Joe Shear race. Obviously, I've seen runbacks of his races, and I've listened to a lot of different podcasts about Joe Shear, and I can just admire how much time and detail and effort he put into his fabrications, like just his fabrication of his body, his interior, like everything in between. You look at those cars and they're just absolutely beautiful. All the rivets are spaced out correctly and everything like that. Just all the minor details I think are so cool. So I really admire that. And obviously he was a heck of a racer too. So, and then as for Mark Martin, obviously I watched kind of his NASCAR era, but never got to see him like you did at the Rockford Speedway or any of the short tracks up here. But I think it's so cool that he appreciates the heritage of Wisconsin short track racing. And it's pretty cool that he comes back to these races.
So folks that you want to thank that have gotten or are getting you to the races this weekend as both a driver and a crew chief. So any of those marketing partners you want to thank, crew members, yes, even the family pets, you can, now's the time to thank the family pet too.
For sure. Yeah. Like I got to thank all my crew guys, because it's just unreal. You just too much work to do it by yourself. And so I got a lot of guys that come a long ways that are drive over 2 hours just to help me out. So that's really cool that they do that. But as for my sponsors, I'd like to thank Smoky Hollow Campground. They came on board this year, and they were on previous years, but they are now the main sponsor on our Super Late, which is really cool. The Club Lamarck, it's a Madison's race car bar, and I've drove a couple race cars for them. I've drove a 602 Outlaw, and now we have an Outlaw late model together that we race. Floors for Less, All Weather Armor, Margaritas of Green Bay, Wise Guys Auto Repair, Monarch Media Designs, Packer Fastener, which is a new sponsor this year, MRI, Mac Motorsports, and Legends Direct. So those are guys that all help make it go around, and without them, we truly would not be racing. So it takes an army to run these super late models and run these big races, and they're just very expensive. So they make the thing possible, and we're just honored to represent them on our race car.
Well, congratulations again on the Kowicki program selection. Wish you the best. Bring the award back to the Miller House in Wisconsin. Since we can't say bring it back to Wisconsin, since there's two of you racing from the area, but bring it back to the Miller House, and we wish you the best on Sunday. We'll be watching from afar at the racing show down by the lake in Lake Michigan. But we will definitely keep in touch. Seriously, I really would like to come and golf in your event, and we'll see if we can't make that happen. And if we can get you over to ours in Lake County here, we'll do that too.
For sure. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. This is it's awesome to be part of your podcast and all that. And I've listened to it in the past. So it's really cool to be on. And yeah, we could be golf partners here in this coming summer for the Badger Honor Flight and doing it for a good cause. So as long as you don't beat me, I don't know. I'm a little worried.
I don't think you need to worry about that. All right. Thanks a lot, Bryce. Take care. Good luck. God bless. And good luck Sunday.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Bye-bye. Again, that was Bryce Miller. He'll be competing this Sunday at Madison International in the Joe Shear Classic. And it's we wish him well, and also with the Kawicki Development Program. Shifting gears now and shifting locations, we're going to talk with a couple of drivers that are going to be at the Wilmot Raceway this coming Saturday night for the Dick Coburn Classic, which is going to be featuring the bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Cars. Also, the Wisconsin Wingless Sprints and the 1175 IRA Lightning Sprints, and as well as the Wilmot 604 Sprints. And I think we've got Tom Eller and Mark Heinert, I believe, going to jump in. Yep, there's Tom and there's Mark. Welcome, gentlemen, to the program. And first of all, we're going to start off with Mark. Mark, it's been a while since we've chatted. We chatted, I think earlier last fall or Christmas or sometime.
Yeah.
And what has developed since then? And are you ready to go Saturday night at Wilmot for the season opener for the Lightning Sprints?
Yeah. So we're in the garage as we speak, putting the final touches on. So we're getting close, but just doing some final touches this evening to get us really close. So we should be ready to roll for Saturday and hopefully be ready to bring it to Victory Lane and see you there.
Well, that sounds like a plan. And now this coming year, what's your goal? I know last year you won the championship, championship number 5, correct?
5 Wilmot and 2 IRA. So, yep.
7 altogether, 5 Wilmot, 2 IRA. So at least the 5 goes with the 55 of the car.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
Plans for this year. Are you worried about points? Are you worried about defending a championship? Or are you just going out and taking it race by race and having fun?
We're going to go out and just take it race by race and have some fun this year. We may do a little bit of traveling. We'll see if we can get Chris to go back up to North Dakota with me and maybe run the Nationals. Just try to do some stuff that we've been wanting to do for a few years. And with really being dedicated to the points, it's really hard to do, right? Because you don't want to tear up your stuff and go run some other stuff. So we're going to run a lot of the IRA for sure. But we may jump off and try some other stuff too, just because I'm not getting any younger and those days might be behind me. So if I can get Chris to come with me and my dad to come with me, we'll probably maybe try some different stuff. So.
Yeah, no, of course, this week is the opener at Wilmot. It's the opener for Wilmot. It's the opener for the 1175 IRA Lightning Sprints. It's Wilmot's 75th season. It's the overall IRA 59th season. And it's the Lightning Sprints 25th season. So we got a lot of milestones this year that are going to be going on. After Wilmot this Saturday, then the following Saturday down at Sycamore, which is a quasi-semi-home track for the 1175 Lightning Sprints. I think you've got 5 or 6 shows, something like that at Wilmot, and about the same number down at Sycamore, I think.
Yeah, we have quite a few down at Sycamore. I don't know the exact number, but yes, we've been running Sycamore a lot more the last couple of years.
Now, your comparison as a driver running Wilmot or Sycamore, are they similar? Are they different? Do you have to adjust the car? Do you have to adjust your driving?
They're definitely not similar the way they drive. Setting up of the car is quite a bit different as well. Sycamore is just a little tighter, just seems a little bit tighter and just a different racing environment. Where Wilmot, you got a little bit more room. You've got, I guess with the no walls on the ends, right? It feels a little bit more wider, and maybe you just drive it a little different. Where at Sycamore, you feel like you're a little bit more in a bull ring. and just a little tighter, so I like both. I mean, obviously Wilmot's probably my favorite, just with the success we've had over there over the last, 15 years of being in these cars. We've done really well at Wilmot. So, and growing up as a kid going there, I mean, I'm a little bit more impartial to Wilmot than I am Sycamore, but I do enjoy going to Sycamore as well. But Wilmot is kind of my favorite.
Okay. Well, now we're going to go over to the, it says in his description here, the one, the only, the original gangsta, Tom Eller. And if he's a gangsta, I guess I better go to him. Huh, Mark? I mean, I might be in trouble here.
Absolutely.
And Tom, a really great guy and a friend of racing and a good friend of mine as well. And yeah, Tom, your plans for this coming weekend, I believe it's going to be your debut. I know you had hoped to have raced the car before this weekend, but now I think it's going to be Saturday night's going to be the debut at the Dick Colburn Classic.
Yeah, we were trying to get out earlier, but we're making big plans for down the road. So we just been kind of working hard doing that. And then I broke transmission of my toter not too long ago, so I had to spend a bunch of money on that too. So we had to put a few things on hold.
And now you picked up a nice supporter, nice marketing partner this off season, who's come on board. And I don't know if you heard the earlier mention. I've got 3 dates that you need to report to Hartnell Chevrolet. We've got some shows, some cruise days coming up. One on June 21st, one on July 19th, I think it is, and then August 9th. There are 3 Saturdays. We're working out the timing of it. It might turn out to be a coffee and cars type thing, 8-ish in the morning till noon. We're still finalizing all that. So, but those are the dates. Those are the dates for sure. Mark, you are certainly invited to bring your car as well. We're looking for race cars. We're looking for custom cars. And we're just looking for some fun and for folks to have a chance to get a look at the cars before they go to the racetrack. We realize they're one of the 2 of the dates, there's no racing that night. So that's why we chose those dates. There's no racing at Wilmot, at least. And one of them, there is racing at Wilmot that night, but it's plenty early in the morning that you come to the show and then you go over to the track. So, but Tom, go ahead and it's time to plug those sponsors that you get, especially the one that you just picked up this winter.
Yeah, no, we were really excited to get Hartnell to come on board. They're a small dealership and they operate a lot like we do. They're more on a personal level than the whole PC and suit and tie type deal. They're just pretty laid back and you feel more like friends there than it does as a salesman in a customer setting. And I'm definitely that's how I operate. And I can appreciate others that operate the same way. And, when they decided to come on board and join partners with us, it was really exciting because, like I said, we're 2 different realms, but kind of operate the same way. So it's nice to be able to do stuff for them and really promote a good hometown type dealership, but still you have that big name behind them, Chevrolet. So
yep,
excited for that.
That's for sure. Mark, marketing partners that you've got on board with the double nickel machine.
Yeah, so got a few that have come back. We had a few that were with me a long time that they decided to go a different direction. So, so it is what it is. But Sunshine Cleaning back on board. Casey O'Gorman and Frito O'Gorman Financials back on board. We did pick up one new one this year that's kind of exciting. So Hayes Brakes, they're a new sponsor and they're providing us with some new brakes that they're, we're helping them design some new brake systems that they're putting out. So we'll have some new stuff on the car that we're doing some testing for them and trying to see what we can give them as far as feedback for them getting into the sprint car market and some of the racing market that they're not in currently. So I'm excited to have them aboard. So yeah, just looking forward to another good year with some good partners that have been with us for a while. So
and Tom, you mentioned Hartnell. Other folks, you'd probably better mention the lady that owns the shop that's sitting behind you right now, or you're going to be in trouble.
I'm currently sitting high on top of the motor of Bill Rose Racing's hauler. I got to get this thing wrapped up so I can get it down to Indiana tonight and get back here to work at 8 o'clock in the morning yet. So, but yeah, no, Whitmore's Wrecker Service, it's great. They come on board and they help out. And then, the big thing too is she gives me the leniency to I can call her right now and be like, you know what, we're going racing tomorrow. And that's what it is. So yeah, Dane and Alana, they're great. Great bosses too, and good friends. We got Cowlicks, Cones, and Custards up in Fond du Lac. That's Gary and Pit Road Apparel. Our shock services, Wilbur Retner, he does all of our shock stuff. Well, I put him to work every year because we're always changing things with shocks, and then once we get them where we want them, we bend them up and make them fix them. So we keep them pretty busy. And then Jack's Helmet also on board. Lake County Hose helps out a lot too. So, and Johnny's Poorhouse as well. He's always on board for, especially when we do the traveling, some of the more national shows and stuff like that. Like when we go to Indiana and stuff and run USAC. He's all about helping out for them shows because. We show up, we're always the underdog, so they're always paying attention, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah. And the thing about it, I mean, both of you guys know this, both of you guys have been around racing for a long, long time. We talked earlier about Fred Nielsen and Jeremy Schroeder's, tuning in. Jeremy will be driving the number 43 410 sprint car Saturday at Wilmot. Fred had a lot of different drivers from a lot of different backgrounds that drove for him over the years. All the way up to Matt Kenseth, a NASCAR champ, drove for Fred Nielsen. And, a lot of people don't realize that, and they don't realize the local connections. And just like we were just talking with Bryce, I mean, really up and coming young man. He's only 25 years old. He's in the Kowicki development program, which is not easy to get into. And who knows, if he has a really good year, he might get seen by somebody. Eric Darnell had that happen. He ended up driving for Jack Roush for quite a number of years. So you never know what might happen. Now, I know both of you guys, and I can only say this because you're my friends, and I've got the same color hair as both of you pretty much. I don't have it as long as Tom's, but, we're probably beyond the age of thinking about running in NASCAR or running some kind of big, huge national series. I know the gangsters still thinking about USAC. But
we ain't thinking. That's what we've been working hard on this winter. We've been working our ass off to try to get some motor stuff together and get cars together, and we're just about there. It's going to be money to go is going to be the hard part. But by the time all the pieces land, we're going to have 3.5, 4.5 motors. I'll have all the cars to go, and truck trailer's just about brand new now, so that'll be ready to go.
There you go. Well, and you might have picked up a possible new crew member, because I did put the bug in my granddaughter's boyfriend's ear that if he was a good guy and did what he needed to do at work, that Tom might ask him to help him on the race car. So
keep picking on him. Keep picking on him. We hired Mike's granddaughter's boyfriend last week, and he's doing all right.
He's doing good. He's enjoying it. When I get a text message in Rome that he's doing well and enjoying his job, you know it's going pretty good. He told
me the other day he didn't know, he couldn't tell the difference if I'm picking on him because I like him or if I'm picking on him because I don't like him.
There you go. Mark, what about you? I mean, we've talked about it before, even at the track after you've won races and that, you're like, gee, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. I don't know how much longer I want to do this. What about your plans? We've talked a little bit about this year, but what about beyond? What about 26 and beyond?
At this point, we just take it year by year. It's been so long with what we've been doing, right? Like it's going to be my 28th year of being in something. So it's been a lot. It's a huge commitment. As all of us that run these cars, we know, like when I ran go-karts, it wasn't unusual for us to run 25 weekends a year. So it gets very wearing. Did that for a long time. And then obviously in this lightning sprint thing, if you run for points and really put a lot of effort into it, you spend a lot of time in the garage, right? Just as much time in the garage as at the racetrack. So I enjoy it still. It's still what I really love doing. I love the people that I've met over the years. A lot of them have become business friends as well. But I'm realistic too, right? Like I know that I'm not going to be a Ron Branham and be a forever type racer. Like he's put in a lot of time, right? Like his whole life has been racing, and I love it still. But there's going to come a time where there's other things I want to do too, and enjoy some other things that I can go do on some of the weekends and still come and be a fan and be in the pits and help. But when that happens, don't know yet. It's really going to come down to myself and Chris Hogstead, who's been with me a really long time. We've won a lot of races together, but without him, I'm not the same racer that I am. So when he or I decides that it's time to go, then we go and we enjoy some hot dogs up in the stands and do something else. So
Chris ain't got nothing else better to do. He's going to keep racing.
What about the kids? Are any of your kids interested in getting in the racing and taking over the steering wheel of the 55?
Yeah, I think my kids really love it. Obviously, as you know, you've had them in the pace truck and all the other stuff. They love going to the track. My oldest one, she loves the environment, but she really doesn't have the drive to drive the car. My younger one, we may try some go-karts or something coming up just to see if she really has the interest in it. She expresses potential interest in driving, so if she does, we'll give it a shot and see if she really wants to do it or if she doesn't want to do it. But if one of them would love to do it, that'd be awesome. But it's one of those things that we all know if you don't have your heart into it, it's not really the sport. So you really have to have your heart into it if you really want to go someplace in this sport.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. Tom, what about you? You got any proteges following you around that want to take over your car?
So TJ, he's a big fan of turning wrenches. I know that. I know he drove one night, but I know Bethy, she's itching to get behind the wheel of that race car. I tell you, she wants to drive that thing something fierce. And who knows, one of these days it might come, I'll get hurt or something because the faster we go, the harder we crash. So when you're built like me, you can only take so many of them. And I've already taken my fair share and Mark's fair share. So, but I know we got a bunch of cars. So, one of these days, if I decide to get out of it, maybe we'll put 2 on a racetrack. Who knows?
Well, this Sunday, after you guys race Saturday, and you are welcome to bring the cars down all dirty. They don't have to be cleaned. Bring them down to the car show. And I'm going to put you on the spot right now, Tom. If you come to the car show, I need you there before 1 o'clock, about 1:45, because I would like you to sing our national anthem.
Well, and I guess I'll let the cat out of the bag because I was asked to do it Saturday night too. So,
well, I'll let you practice Saturday. We'll make sure you're in tune, and then you can follow up on Sunday.
Saturday, I'll tell you one thing. I don't get to talk about it much, but I'll talk about it now. Everybody knows the anthem, you know what I mean? The first time you asked me to do it, I was like, yeah, sure, no problem, And I got to thinking about it, like, sure, you've sung along with it. I had never, to that point, ever performed it. And it's like, well, how do you do that? I listen to Ray, and I talked to Ray Underwood. We're good friends, too. And he says, man, you just got to let your heart take it, man. And that's what we did. And it's definitely an honor, for sure. We've done it now at Angel Park. Angel Park's actually reached out to me as well. I guess I'll let that cat out of the bag too. So we got 2 dates. We're doing it at Angel Park. We've done a couple of USAC shows too. And then the few times we've done it, around here. So I enjoy it. I don't want to do it every night because then it gets watered down, but we'll do it from time to time.
Well,
and then I get to do it for Nick Simons. He asked me to do it at his show the last 2 years, and we're doing it again this year. So I'm excited to do that. And Plymouth, they got some fans up there, man. They're a different breed up there for sure.
My wife Kathy's been fortunate enough to sing it a lot of times at Wilmot and other tracks, and she's actually sung it for the White Sox twice and for the Milwaukee Bucks. So she's gone both sides of the border. And she's also sung it for the Honor Flight, and like she said, that's probably her biggest honor.
I was there for one of them.
Yep, is when she's done it for the Honor Flight. So that's pretty cool. Well, gentlemen, we thank you for taking time tonight. We know you both got work to do. Gangsta, we don't pay your tickets. If you get speeding tickets, taking Rose's hauler back, you're on your own.
That's fine. I just tell him it's Bill Rose's truck. Give him a ticket instead.
There you go, Mark. And we'll see you on Saturday night. Who knows? Maybe we'll see both of you in Victory Lane.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mike, for the invite.
Mark
always,
probably
and
more
thanks
than me,
for-
but we're going to try anyways.
All right, thanks, guys. Take care. God bless.
Yep,
See
take
ya.
care.
Bye-bye. Again, that was Tom Eller and Mark Heinert. That'll be out at the Dick Colburn Classic this Saturday night at Wilmot Raceway. And I believe we've got at least the Colburn family coming in to join us now. And we got Tommy and Rod. We had been trying to get Chris Klemko. He thought he might have a conflict, and so we'll see if he's able to join us before the end. Chris Klemko, it turns out, and one of the main reasons I asked Chris to come on, Tuesday when I was at the Racing Roundup, I found out that there's a correlation between Chris's father's anniversary this year and Dick Colburn's 50-year anniversary. It's Dick's 50th of his first championship. Is that right, Tom and Rod?
That is correct. Yeah, 1975.
And it was also 50 years ago that Chris Klemko's dad won his first championship.
I think he won his first the same year that Dick won his third. I thought it was 1980.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe that was my confusion there. I just know that there was some correlation between the two. And, it's just, ironically, the first trophy I ever presented anybody at Wilmot's banquet was to Chris's dad, to Mike Klemko. When Chris won the championship, he brought a copy of that photo, and it's upstairs in our living room of me presenting it to his dad, and it's just kind of cool. I've also been fortunate enough to announce a lot of Dick's wins, a lot of them, and a lot of his championships. Rod, I've announced you. I've announced Tommy. I guess that shows I'm getting a little older. But what's all come together for Saturday night, I think, is fantastic. If you guys have one, I was planning on showing one. The poster that Dave Olson put together that's going to be given out Saturday night. You guys got one handy that you can hold up?
Yeah, we don't have one handy. We're at the shop right now. We got about five of us working here today, just putting cars together real quick for the weekend. But yeah, we asked Dave to put together kind of a mural of Dick's career in pictures, and the first 150 people in the gate on Saturday will receive that poster. Also, the trophy for the IRA winner has the poster, a mural of that, or a smaller size, actually incorporated in the trophy. So we're really looking forward. And that you mentioned Chris, I can't thank Chris enough for being gracious and working with us on this, and also Steve from IRA.
Chris and Steve. They've done. Actually, I've got it on my Facebook. From Dave Olson's Facebook. So we'll see if we can get it to show up a little bit here without glaring. But this is what it's going to look like. It's a poster, like you said, it's going to go to the first 150 fans that come in. We've worked some stuff out at some point, or possibly at various points during the night, depending upon how the program is going to go. Dick is going to be available to sign autographs and to autograph the posters. We're going to be communicating with them, and like I say, kind of going with the flow, depending upon how the show's going, et cetera, et cetera. We do plan on having Dick involved, obviously, in the trophy presentations out in the infield in Victory Lane for all four divisions. So it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's just going to be a lot of fun on Saturday night to recognize a Hall of Famer and a guy that, he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in racing. And he's always been that way. The racing fireman from Muskego. That's what I learned to call him, and that's what I've always called him.
No, didn't you? You coined his nickname in his later years, the Gentleman Racer, didn't you? That was you that coined that at Wilmot too. Another nickname of his.
It must have been somebody else that gave him that one, because I had the racing fireman, I know. But Gentleman Racer, that could have come from Ray. I don't know. Ray wasn't around yet. Ray Underwood.
No,
I'm not sure. Now, Tommy, you got me scratching my head. Actually, we're going to have to ask Dick or Nancy. They'll know.
Absolutely.
They'll know where it came from. So, Tommy, tell us a little bit about, watching Dick race. How much did you get to watch Dick race, and your thoughts now going into Saturday night?
Yeah, actually, I didn't get to watch Dick race in person, and that's one of the things that I kind of regret. So I've only seen like on film. There's like some races on YouTube. I think one of the Webbers put it out of all of his Wilmot stuff back in the day. I always keep meaning to get to his house to watch some of the old, I think they're on like beta tapes or something like that, he says, of his old modified day stuff. But yeah, I never got to see Dick race. I think he actually retired before I was born. I think like a year or two before I was born. But just the stories alone don't seem to do it justice of just how good he was and how dominant he was. But yeah, that's one of my biggest regrets is not being able to see him race.
Rod, what about you? I'm pretty sure you got to see him race a few times.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up with wrenches in my hand. The one thing we do talk about is how many wins he could have, like him and Gib Weiser, if they could have started at the front like these guys get to do now. I mean, they had to start last or dead last because they usually, Dick would have fast time or, a lot of guys were pretty fast back then with Roble and those guys, but Jim Molis. But if those guys could have started in the front, I just wonder how many victories he would have had. It would have. He already has over 200 feature wins, so that number would have probably been double.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I can remember too. Dick was one of those guys that he was loyal, and his word was golden. Still is. And I can remember when I was just starting in racing at working at Waukegan Speedway, and we had an IRA show on a Sunday, and at the last minute, Wilmot decided to use Sunday for a rain date for Saturday. And Gordy Sill worked it out with the few drivers we had. We only had about 7 or 8 show up because they were worried about having to race at Wilmot that night. And Daryl Dodd was there, Tierney was there, Dick was there, Roble was there, Weiser was there. It was the main crux. Those guys are the ones that were there. Gordy had an announcement made, said we're going to run them first. They're going to run a heat, and then right after the heat, they're going to run a feature. And if the fans wanted their money back, they could have their money back. But then, they were going to run the first 2 races of the afternoon. We actually moved up the starting time so they could get to Wilmot. So they wouldn't lose their IRA points at Wilmot. Nobody left. It was a great race. That's not the one Roble. Roble did win the last asphalt race ever run at Waukegan. And I've got a picture of that. But it was just, that's how those guys were. They could have not even shown up, and then Gordy would have been scrambling, trying to explain to fans why we didn't have any, at that time, super modifieds in the pits. But these guys came. Their word was golden. They put on a great show.
That's not what I remember about that show. I remember taking apart an asphalt car and building one in the pits at Wilmot. That's what I remember about that show.
And you probably didn't have a whole lot of time to get it done.
No, it was really quick. It was a quick turnaround. Luckily, those cars were fairly similar running asphalt and dirt. There were some differences, but they were closer than it would be now, of course.
Now, whose idea was it with the paint scheme? You've got the car now that's pretty much painted and looks like similar to the number 9 of Dick's. Whose idea was it to go with that this year?
That was me.
Everybody's going to point fingers now.
Yeah,
No, that was him.
that was me. I wanted to honor that year, and the hood is identical to that car. The rest of the car was back in those days when you had guys paint. You normally didn't do a lot of the graphics you see in cars now. So the side has a little more graphics to bring attention to our sponsors. But it was me, and I work with Gary Trummel. He does all our lettering. He's done a lot of cars. Still does a lot of asphalt cars, and he still does ours. And He's on Gib Weiser and Bob Roble and quite a few cars. And we just kind of let Gary go. He's got such a talent and imagination. Just gave him the pictures and he came up with the car, and we're really, we think it's our best looking car, you know. Plus it has a number 9 on it, which means a lot to me. I grew up watching that number a lot with Dick, and especially his first championship. Yeah.
That's for sure. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. The Dick Colburn Classic, Saturday night, Wilmot Raceway. It's the season opener for Wilmot's 75th season. It's the start of the 59th season for the IRA, which is kind of cool. And as I mentioned earlier, it's the 25th season for the Lightning Sprints. And if my math is right, it's the 11th season for the Wingless. I guess that just tells you and I, Rod, that we're getting old, because I think we were around for a lot of those.
I drove in the Wingless there. I started the second season of it. But, I just also want to thank you for everything you've done for motorsports in southeastern Wisconsin, and always being a champion of the people who race there and help them out. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And I know that the Colburns have a commitment Sunday afternoon. If by some quirk you guys can bring the cars down to the car show on Sunday, you're more than welcome. It'd be some fun. We'll have some music and, hopefully celebrating a victory. Tommy, no pressure. But, again, I'm looking forward to Saturday night and seeing a lot of old friends. I think there's a lot of folks that are going to come to see Dick and to see the racing for the IRA, and it's going to be a great time. The grandstand gates will open at 5, I think. They're still open at 5. Racing will get going right around 6:45-ish. And as I mentioned, Dick's going to do some autograph signing, and that's not cast in stone at a particular time, but we'll keep the fans informed during the night when he's going to be by the IRA trailer to sign autographs.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'll try to have our second car there if we can. I'm not sure if we can. We're scrambling together. We're getting the motor tomorrow morning, believe it or not. So we're getting ourselves ready for a race day tonight, which we usually do on Friday. But when we get the motor tomorrow, we'll put it in, and actually do it at Scotty Neitzel. Rick Lemansky and Scotty are going to help me put the motor in, speed up time. And I just want to thank Scott for everything he's done as far as helping us get our car together this year. And very last minute, putting the motor in it.
All righty. Well, Tommy, Rod, thank you much. We'll look forward to seeing you Saturday night for the Dick Colburn Classic. That's going to wrap it up for this week's show. Don't forget the Bars Let's Go Racing, Motorsports, and Custom Car Show on Sunday, 1 to 5 o'clock down at the Waukegan Harbor and Marina. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody Saturday night at Wilmot for the Dick Colburn Classic. And if you like asphalt racing, go to the Joe Shear Classic over at Madison International on Sunday afternoon. So until we see you next time, this is Mike Babicz wishing you a pleasant evening, the best of tomorrows. Remember, kids, just say no to drugs. Thanks. Good night. God bless. And let's go racing, everybody.